Zach sat in the cold blue glare of his 2026 smart apartment, overlooking the sprawling grid of downtown Austin. Outside, the low mechanical hum of midnight delivery drones buzzed like a swarm of metallic locusts against the glass. On his desk, his banking dashboard glowed, projecting a six-figure salary that should have felt like a fortress, but instead felt like a house of cards. By every American metric, Zach was winning the game. Yet, every month, he felt the water level dropping. He was trapped in the invisible current of modern convenience. His phone vibrated, a haptic pulse signaling another $119 automated subscription renewal he forgot to cancel. A soft chime echoed from the lobby, a premium grocery delivery he authorized out of sheer exhaustion. Another tap on his screen, another algorithmic impulse seamlessly deducted from his digital wallet. These weren't massive financial crashes, they were microscopic fractures. He was trying to keep a massive stone reservoir filled with water, but the foundation was laced with hairline cracks. He worked 60 hours a week just to pump more water in, blinded by the sheer volume of his income, completely ignoring the slow, silent drain beneath his feet. The weight of his wasted hours settled in his chest like wet sand. He was exhausted, sprinting on a treadmill of American consumerism, his wealth quietly bleeding out into the digital ether. One Sunday morning, pushed to the brink of burnout by a sudden, inexplicable credit alert, Zach drove out of the city, leaving the neon billboards and the relentless buzz of the commerce algorithms behind. He ended up at an old, quiet state park, where he watched an older man working by the edge of a massive historic stone dam. The old man wasn't using heavy machinery, he was kneeling in the damp earth. His hands, thick with calluses and smeared with gray dust, were slowly, painstakingly pressing thick, heavy mortar into a tiny, almost invisible seam in the massive stone wall. Zach, vibrating with the residual anxiety of his digital life, asked, "Why spend the whole weekend on one tiny crack? The river brings in millions of gallons a day. It doesn't matter." The old man didn't stop his steady, rhythmic work. He didn't even look up as he drove the mortar deep into the stone. "You are trying to outrun the river, son," the old man rumbled, his voice like grinding gravel. "You don't need a bigger pump. You must find the courage to stand still and seal the stone." Silence fell over the valley, broken only by the heavy, calm weight of the contained water. That sentence shattered the glass walls of Zach's reality. The next morning, Zach stopped pumping water. He didn't check his stock portfolio. He didn't look at his gross income. Instead, he did the unsexy, gritty work. He sat in the quiet of a disconnected room, armed only with a yellow legal pad and a black pen. He audited his life. He hunted down every invisible leak, the ghost subscriptions, the phantom car payments, the lifestyle upgrades that felt like necessities, the algorithmic traps designed to siphon his net worth $15 at a time. He canceled. He deleted. He sealed the stone. The process was agonizingly slow, stripped of dopamine, and devoid of the instant gratification his 2026 life demanded. 10 years later, the economic storm raged harder than ever. The city was a blur of frantic motion, with millions still trapped in the raging river of convenience, frantically pumping water into cracked reservoirs, exhausted by the sheer effort of staying exactly where they were. But Zach was no longer frantic. He stood on the solid, dry walkway of a massive, unshakable dam, holding back a deep, calm, and limitless reserve of water. The stone beneath his boots was bone-dry and impenetrable. The air around him was still, quiet, and deeply peaceful. He didn't have to work 60-hour weeks anymore because his reservoir held its own weight. He watched the chaotic, churning rapids of the digital world below him, feeling only the steady, grounded gravity of a man who owned his future. He had traded the fleeting comfort of the current for the permanent fortress of a sealed foundation. True wealth is never built by how fast you can earn to outpace your spending. It is built in the quiet, unsexy discipline of sealing the invisible leaks that quietly drain your future.